it wasn't. July 26, 2022, 3:30 p.m. at the municipal building. And the sewer commissioners are holding a public hearing on the sewer rate increase. And the ad that was published was the Warren Board of Sewer Commissioners will be having a public hearing on Tuesday, July 26th at 3:30 p.m. about a planned sewer fee increase for 2023. The location of the hearing will be in the Selectmen's Meeting Room in the Charles E. Shepherd Building at 48 High Street, Lawrence. The hearing is now open. Is there any comments? Any comments?
Not for me.
Okay, we're gonna be raising our rates. We haven't yet decided on a figure. Howie, do you have any comments?
The only comment I'm gonna make is, our previous, meetings, we sort of decided on a figure, you know, and, the figure sounds good with me, and I like to see it, maybe we can go with it. That
Okay.
was, $450 even, no change. You got, anything you want to, put in there?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
Lisa?
Okay, so I was going over the FY '22, like the end of the year bills with Tammy, and from talking to Tammy, you know, with everything that was passed, like with the new wage scale and everything, Tammy seems to think we may have to go higher than 450. I don't know, it's up to you. You might want to think about it, but we probably don't want to be in a position toward the end of the fiscal year where we have to ask for extra money. I mean, it was just Tammy says, yeah, I would love to not see my sewer bill go up much, but she seemed to think that we would probably have to raise it higher than 450, but that's just what that was just when I was going over the bills at the end of the year, and I know before Sean left, he thought if we only increased it by like 5% or something, that wouldn't be enough. That was what Sean thought, but I just thought I'd mention that at the meeting.
But do you have the figures that Sean finally came up with, the 15%?
I believe I'd given it to you. I believe per EDU it was like $495, 94. If you wanted to have it be an even amount with no change, you could do $495 even. I don't know how you feel about that, or if you wanted to, you know, if you wanted to have a rounded number with no change, if you'd wanna do 495, I don't know, I mean, it's
What is it, what's the rate now, 391?
No, it's
431.25, that was the rate, that was a 15% increase over what the FY 2021 rate was.
and then Sean added another 15% for this year.
Correct, so it, I,
Yeah, it could be. Just make it 500.
That's what I had said a long time ago, but
Yeah.
people
I
didn't
mean,
want.
it's 495.65. Just
So I don't know what Howie feels about it. How do you feel about 500?
Well, the way I see it, with a $500 figure, I think we're gonna have to go bill 2 times a year, because that's gonna hurt a lot of people.
well, that's
Treasurer
just,
doesn't want to do that.
well, here's the problem with that.
Lisa?
The treasurer said that if we were gonna change the frequency of billing, it would have to be something that would be decided upon in advance, that it couldn't be a last minute decision like with the new fiscal year. It's something we would have to, decide on, like probably like almost a year ahead of time. So say we wanted to go to 2 bills a year for FY '24, and we decided on that, say, this year, that would, because that's not something that you can set up
Okay,
last
Lisa.
minute.
Lisa?
I'd like to see it so we can do it 1 bill a year. It's be a lot easier for everybody. I don't really wanna go to the 2 bill in the year. It's a lot of work, extra work for everybody, but, we gotta still keep kicking around and come up with something.
When I spoke to the treasurer, she figured if we sent 1 bill, those that pay, and those that don't will continue to pay. She said she had about 20 that paid when they can do it. And she thought that was a lot easier than starting the double billing and.
What do you think, Jim?
So,
You wanna throw a number out there?
well, no, I
500.
think that has to be a decision made by the board, and I would only speak on the facts. The facts are that the Tie and Bond had issued a report, and Tie and Bond, when they issued the report to the town, made it clear that the sewer department has been using retained earnings to balance their budgets. And at some point, the retained earnings are going to be, diminished. So in order to keep up with expenses, such as wage increases, general expenses to operate the facility, Tie and Bond had recommended a increase of about 15% per year for the next almost 10 years to try to catch up to where the sewer rates need to be, and to become somewhat self-sustainable. Because right now, you're using retained earnings to be self-sustainable. So that model and that approach doesn't work. And if you continue down that road, I realize that the board may consider a modest increase this particular fiscal year, but you're still going to continue to have that problem, and you're still going to have that problem of growth as expenses continue to grow. Operating expenses, personnel expenses, you're going to have that growth pattern continuing to grow. So it's a tough decision. I totally understand. Their recommendation was somewhere around the ballpark of 495, 500 would obviously do that. The notion of billing twice a year, I don't seem to think that it would be a big issue. I think that we would just need to notify the users of that in some type of way, whether it be through the first bill that's sent out, you know, that type of way. You're basically sending out 2 bills of $250. But I understand it is gonna require some more work. There's no doubt about it.
But-
So.
But, what I, from,
Lisa?
oh, sorry.
The board didn't actually decide that. That was somebody else's thought to send out 2 bills.
Right.
So why don't we just throw that away?
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's just an option, you know.
Yeah, no, I know that, but
you could do.
if people couldn't do that, then fine, but it sounded fine the way the treasurer.
Yep, so I mean, there's definitely an
So
option.
what about the credit card?
No, you can't do that yet. She's not set up for that. Because you mentioned that before. Is that what you're gonna say? And then,
Well, like Unipay, right? So you can pay your car, excise tax, the water bill, and probably a couple other things with your credit card through Unipay, right?
But I
but
know
she's
Dawn
not set
was,
up for that, is she?
Dawn was in the process of looking into that, and that she hasn't set up that system. So when the new bills come out, like in another week or two, she's not gonna be set up to do Unipay at that time.
And how
I
much
know
does it
Carrie
cost to
is.
use that?
There's a fee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
So-
people might not like that either, so
So,
just,
yeah, depending on the dollar
Yeah.
amount, there's a fee.
It's 50 cents though.
Yeah.
that's it?
So I just paid my water bill, right? It was 200 some dollars, and it was a 50-cent fee to pay it with a credit card. So I could save the 50 cents, walk over with the check to Carol, or I could just pay the 50 cents, it goes on the card, it's done.
Yeah.
Right? It's 50 cents, I don't know, it's,
But I
you know,
don't
if it
know,
was like $10, I might be, well, you know,
Yeah.
okay. But
Some of the higher bills, I think, have higher fees,
Uh-huh.
because there's a fee, schedule of fees in front of Carrie's office. As a matter of fact, I was looking at it today.
Uh-huh.
You know, depending on, you know, if you're getting in the $1,000 range,
Right.
you know, some of them are $30, $40 for the fee.
but we'd have to leave that up to the treasurer because she collects the money, so.
Yeah.
just-
We still haven't come up with a figure yet.
So, yeah, so I mean, I think that the board's, you know, toughest decision is gonna be to decide, you know, where the rate should be, you know.
And I don't think we're gonna decide today because I'm with the 500 and he was with the 450. And I just don't think that we should just bother raising it a few dollars. I mean, we need to get our expenses and,
So I would just caution the board as to, you know, delaying a vote because of the fact that the longer you're gonna delay, we're gonna have, you know, it's gonna be
right.
tough to collect, you know, it's gonna be more,
But we only have 2
Time
of us
consuming.
today, so,
right, I mean, you can make a decision on 2.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
know,
if
but
you-
if we both have different minds on it, it's,
Yeah.
Well, if you agree, then good.
Just the longer the delay, the longer it's gonna, you know, delay is sending out bills.
Howie, do you wanna make a motion and see where this goes?
What's the figure gonna be?
Whatever you're gonna throw out there, we'll see what,
About $4.95. And then, like Jim said, it's gonna be easy for us to, the coming years, go with the 15%. It's gonna be an easy fix. It's already figured out.
Well, that was the report of the Ty and Bond. I'm just going by what the report of Ty and Bond said.
Yeah,
but we have to
yeah.
do it for at least a few years because,
We're gonna have to make the big jump this year. And then the following years, it's gonna be an easy fix. Just 15%, that's it. Hopefully. How's that sound, everybody?
Well, I mean, I've had a couple people call me wanting to know what the new sewer rate's gonna be, and I couldn't give them a figure, so.
Now, Lisa, the figure that we actually come up with today, that's what's gonna be on the bills
Right.
you're just gonna send out now,
Right.
okay?
So I can't do anything, I can't print any bills out or mail them out until the rate has been voted on and approved by the board.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Well, I don't like the idea, but I will be stubborn for $5. Otherwise, we'll be postponing it until we have a full,
Well, I mean, if you have to postpone it, that means you're gonna have to re-advertise it again, there's
Right.
more costs.
Right.
You know, what happens if you don't
Right.
get a
So
quorum?
for $5, it's save the ad money. So, all right, I'll second that motion.
what do you get, $4.95?
That's what you said.
Okay,
You could amend it if you want, but yeah,
Yeah, but then he's gonna, so we'll just.
so,
yeah.
okay, $4.95, no cents, let's do it.
And I could probably go with the figures that Sean had for the commercial rates, cause that would be like a 15% increase, cause Sean had done the
No, you have to figure
calculation.
him out the right way.
So you're gonna have to take a vote on each rate. So I mean, if you have this is for residential
We didn't
rate.
get that far yet. We just,
So
we're
Joan
figuring-
has made a motion to.
no, I didn't.
Oh, who made the motion?
He made the motion.
Howie made the
I bet,
motion.
yeah.
Howie made the motion, okay?
It's been
Jo-
seconded.
It's been seconded, and it's
Joan-
been voted
Joan
on for $4.95 for residential rate, right?
Right.
Now, are we gonna be legal, seeing that we have one member that's absent? Can we go around them?
Yeah, you
We're
have a
not
majority of
going
the
around
board.
him. He's just
Yeah,
not
quorum.
here.
You would be meeting if you didn't have it.
You
I
have-
just-
You have a majority of the boards here.
Okay, I just wanna make
Yeah,
sure
right.
we don't get into trouble, because everybody's not here.
Yeah. no,
That
you're
could
good.
happen every meeting, so, I mean, we can't wait for that.
So we can do it, it's done.
Do you have
Next.
that paper?
Well, you gotta vote on it. And who's chairman? I'm sorry.
I'm the chairman. He made the motion and I seconded it.
Okay.
So then you gotta
So-
vote.
Call for a vote.
Roll call
Okay.
vote.
All in favor?
No, roll
Yeah.
call.
Okay. All right, I'll second that. Joan Levine,
Aye.
aye.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Aye.
Say Howie. Molson. You gotta say your name.
Well, I thought we already,
Yeah, but they do it different now, so you have to say your name and aye.
Because it's a public hearing, right?
Yeah,
I have to say my name
yes.
And aye.
as being
A member of the
a
board.
member of the sewer commission.
And you're voting for,
I'm voting for the rate increase, which has been,
no, you're setting the rate to be $495 for fiscal year '23, correct?
Correct.
yeah. Starting, yeah, we're gonna make that point, starting this year.
Yeah.
So there's no question when it's gonna start. It's gonna start this year, sometime, I guess, July-ish,
August.
August, okay, excuse me, we're a little bit off, but I think we finally got there.
Yes. And so there's another rate there, you have the commercial side too?
We don't usually separate it like that because every.
Do you have two
every-
rates or one rate?
We have one rate,
It's
but
the
every.
same per EDU, and the figure that Sean came up with is based on the EDU calculation. So it's basically the commercial rate is equivalent to the residential
Okay.
rate.
All right. So,
And then we can, like Jim said, it's gonna be an easy fix. Next year, 15% automatic. How's that? That'll gonna work, Jim?
yeah, so I mean, that's what the tie and bond
Yeah.
recommended. Yeah.
Okay, so we have some big guys helping us out. Anyway, and That's the way it's gonna go.
And at some point, we have to do the tie-in fees, but we haven't gotten to that
Are you
yet.
gonna set the fees? The fees would have to be set for the new fiscal year.
We were just doing the EDUs today, the individual. So we won't do it then because we have no idea where we're going with that.
So are you gonna set the same
We'll just let them
fees?
stay the same because we haven't even talked about it. I mean, as far as throwing figures out. I mean, Lisa throws out a lot of figures, but the board hasn't.
Right.
So we have gotten nowhere on that one.
All right. So, all right. So either the board is gonna keep the same fees for this past fiscal year into this new fiscal year, or you're going to modify the fees. So you may wanna make some type of motion to let the public know what your intentions are.
At the beginning, we were going to just leave them ride for another
Okay.
year. And, but then we really haven't had a full board to be talking about
All right.
the tie-in fees, so. it's
So
not
you would
gonna-
have to revisit that next
Yeah,
fiscal year.
next year, whoever's here can revisit.
All right. So I would make a motion if that's what the board's wishes are, is to have the same fees from last year to this year for the connection fees.
I have a question. How many new connections do you get per year on average?
I believe last year, I believe we had a total of maybe like 8 or 9 of them last year, and this year, so far, we've had, I think 4 of them this year. And there's gonna be, I know there's gonna be a bunch of them coming up, because there's, Jim Fountain bought some land on the corner of Carl Street and Maple Street, and I heard that he's planning to build 5 or 6 new homes there. So
And what's the fee now?
$500, and which is lower than the surrounding towns.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge, what's the budget, like 200,000? No, it's more than that, right? What's your total budget?
I believe it's over.
850?
850?
Yeah, it's,
Well, it's not, I don't think it's 850, I think it's more like 6. I don't have the figures that got voted on town meeting in front of me.
So 10 connections, I mean, it's not a huge amount of money
No.
against that. What's more important is the user base. That's gonna have a more dramatic impact.
I mean, I suppose when the new houses are connected and people buy them, they'll be paying the sewer fee every year.
Yep.
does he have to submit a plan to the planning board on that?
For what?
No,
Building all those houses up there? No?
where's he building them?
On the corner of Maple Street and Carl Street.
I would
He
caution
already-
the board on this type of discussion, it has nothing to do with the
Oh,
public
okay.
hearing.
No, but we don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
He's digging, so we
Yeah,
know
well,
he's, yeah. okay.
whatever he does has nothing to
Yeah.
do with this public hearing.
Of course, the
Well,
number of sewer
so-
connections could go down because it looks like the housing market is starting to slow down, so who knows?
Yeah,
Well-
so I guess you can put that off if you decide. I mean, it's not a huge impact. I think the more important vote was the EDU amount. But I think you may have to raise them in the future,
Right.
so.
Joan, are we gonna have to discuss the connection
No, not
fees
today.
at the, say, no, we're just dealing
We're putting the
with the rate?
connection fees off till next year.
Okay.
And
Okay.
actually, those could be changed at any time probably, right?
That's what I thought too, but,
They may be able to, but some of them require that they be done at the time of setting the rates. I don't know how the language was written.
Because
The
the
language
EDU
written
is more
where?
a billing issue.
Right.
But, I mean, if you said December 1st, we're gonna raise the connection
Right.
fee to whatever, probably as long as you give people enough notice,
Mhm. Yeah.
so.
Usually we just raise the rate and we didn't do anything much with the tie-in fees, so,
Yeah.
but, so now that we've got a rate for this year, I can call the hearing to an end.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
So, you may want to just, for the record, say that you're going to keep the same rates as of now for the connection fees will stay the same, if that's the intention of the board.
Okay, the tie-in fees are gonna stay the same for the time being, and the annual rate for the individual users will be $495. And the hearing is closed. So, Lisa. Want to make a motion to sign the payroll?
Make a motion to sign the payroll.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Current bills?
I make a motion to sign all current bills.
I'll second that.
Motion made in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And ratify the payroll? You got your paper to ratify the payroll?
Yeah, that's, okay. Ratify the payroll for 6/30/22 was a $2,881.61. And then for the week ending 7/20/22, the weekend, the total is 6,500, wait a minute, yeah, $695.46. And then the week ending, the 7/20/22, the total is $4,118.76.
The next page? Howie? There's 2 pages there. There's 2 pages there. You gotta read the second page.
Oh, there's another page? Yeah. Oh. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay, the payroll for the weekend at 7/16/2022. The grand total is $3,846.18. And the week ending 7/23/2022, the grand total is $3,984.48.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're gonna wait on the minutes. And our next scheduled meeting will be August 9th. I can't tell you a time yet.
What are them numbers again?
August 9th,
August 9th?
yep. Dave isn't here, and we were gonna be trying to have the meeting when our new man is working his hours sometime during the day. So we have to find out when Dave can come.
Yep.
So then we'll know, or we can get back to you on that
Okay.
when the time will be. And we're hoping if this COVID ever lets up, that we can meet at the plant, so it'll be easier on him. He won't be running all over.
Sure, sure.
And, but all that remains to be seen because with the COVID and all, I think it's still a little tight down there
Right,
to
right.
have it in the office.
So, just a couple things I wanted to brief the board on. Obviously, Ralph is scheduled to start on August 1st, which is Monday. I'm gonna meet him down there, okay? He's gonna start at 7, and just to get him acclimated and everything. He's finished all his onboarding paperwork. The Board of Selectmen gave him the okay to start using or being eligible to get health insurance benefits. You know, he's going to have to pay his contribution, but that has been activated. That was a request that he had made, and the board had followed through with that. Also, the DEP had contacted me, or I think contacted Lisa, and Lisa had forwarded it to me with regards to a notification plan. The notification plan needed to be submitted sometime in June. We just got it in July. It was submitted. They have 180 days to review the plan, which would bring us to sometime in January. So as long as we don't hear back from the DEP, then consider our plan as being accepted. So if there's any notifications with them, they would come to you guys. So in the spirit of cooperation, if you could let me know if they didn't accept it or some sort,
Right.
so that I can, monitor that situation. And I will be talking to Ralph about this as well, bringing him up to speed on this.
Yeah.
There was another thing that I had asked Zach, and Lisa was able to get a hold of Zach, and he came into my office. We actually had a Zoom call last week with the DEP, because there was a second step to the notification plan, which was to register the town online with this plan. So Zach was we were able to do the tutorial with the DEP in my office last week.
Oh, that was good.
And we were able to register the town, or Zach was able to register the town. He went back to his office because he had to get some documents to finish the registration of the town, which it's now complete. And so that part of the process has also been completed. I've asked Zach to fill in Ralph of, the usernames and the accounts for notification that the DEP requires, so that Ralph is made aware of those as well. Another thing that the DEP, Matt Scopel, Soka, who contacted me, and I informed him that we do have our new chief operator coming on August 1st. He asked for a copy of his license. I provided him with a copy of the license. He was satisfied with that. However, the town needs to update its staffing plan at the plant, and I'm hoping that Ralph can play a role into that as to how he wants to utilize the staff and to develop the staffing plan in accordance with the DEP standards. So that's going to be one of the assignments that I'm going to ask Ralph to do, if it's okay with the board, within the first couple weeks, because Matt wants to have that on file by the end of August.
And Sean always used to do the staffing plan. And
Yeah, they said it hasn't been updated in a while.
so, well, yeah, he's been gone a while now too. Besides coming and going.
Yeah.
So, but he had been doing that, so it's quite all right for Ralph to do it.
Yeah, okay. So that those were the communication pieces that I've received, and I've been kind of keeping, close eye on things as I get notified.
Right.
But if you hear of anything from the DEP, they will be notifying the wastewater treatment plant email address,
Right.
as well as, I believe it's Lisa's address as well, of any notifications,
But
so.
now that they know that you're with the town, they might.
They may
just
notify me too, I did give them
Yeah.
my contact information too, but in case something gets slipped in the cracks, if you could let me know as well, so that I can make, kind of be made aware of it as well.
And a lot of times they just copy the selectmen too, so.
Right.
And we also got that new grit screw
Yep.
thing, that's in the works too.
So, yep, so I was in contact with Ty and Bond about that as well. They're wrapping up their bid and their proposal for that project. Obviously, that's being paid through ARPA funds that were approved by the Board of Selectmen. So that process is still in its development of procurement. There's been some bills that I know that have been accumulated and that Lisa has been submitting for payment. And those are use of ARPA funds.
I assume there is somebody out there that can actually make it.
Yes, according to Ty and Bond, yes. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? The last meeting, I think we got canceled, and we didn't talk about that insurance that, on that, on the screw. Why all of a sudden did they need to know about the insurance? Wasn't that insured under the old plan, or does it?
So what happens is that since we're going to get a new product, right, and there's going to be some type of construction associated with this new product for installing, okay, the person who could potentially be bidding on this needs to be made aware of what are the requirements for a project this size to have for insurance. So that's going to be factored into
Oh, for them, okay.
their price.
Okay. I just thought they were, just wanted to know if it was already insured, like through our town insurance.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to do, more or less do with the
So it's with the.
the
whoever's
liability,
bidding on
it's
it,
for the installation.
Yeah, okay,
There's going to be some form of construction
right, okay.
to construct and install that and to take the old one out.
Okay.
And so if this company that is retained by the town has, God forbid somebody was to get hurt, if they were to destroy something down there, if there was some type of catastrophic event, they are required to have proper insurance, and our company is to tell them what type of insurance they're supposed to have.
No, we don't actually know for sure yet. One company is gonna make this screw.
Right.
Now, I was sort of wondering if it's gonna be the same company that's gonna install it, or it might take somebody else.
Yeah, it very well could be, or it could be somebody else.
We don't know yet.
I don't, it's not unknown, it's
Okay.
unknown at the moment.
Yeah. Well, there's always something you gotta wait and see how it's gonna work, But I'm sure there's gotta be, there's gotta be somebody out there that does that kind of work.
I'm sure
There's gotta be, because they can build a whole plant, and they sure can put the little screw in there, Sort of like a popper in a body shop. Well,
Okay, Lisa, do you have the abatements?
So these are the ones that got approved at the June 28th meeting, and so the board needs to sign the cover sheet, and then there's the total of 24 certificates that need to be signed. I'm gonna be making copies of those for myself and the treasurer and the ratepayer, so you just have to sign that. You don't have to worry about pressing down, because it's not those triplicate ones anymore.
What happened to that book?
What do you mean?
Why don't we use it anymore?
So the triplicate ones were outdated. They were for like, they had a year like 19, and I decided to do that instead because the triplicate ones, like, I had to press down real hard, and after I filled out a few of them, I basically ruined my pen. So I found out if I could do those, because I make copies of them. So I just make a copy of them instead of doing the triplicates, because there's basically 4 copies. One, I keep one for the file, then one goes to the treasurer, one goes to the accountant, and then one goes to the person receiving the abatement.
Did you want to give your report while we're signing these? Do you?
I don't really have a whole lot to report.
Okay, then don't.
So I'm basically what I have to report is I've been, getting everything ready to send out the new sewer bills. So as far as the remaining 4 abatements, do you wanna wait until Dave is at a meeting to make a decision on those? Cause there's 4 abatement applications that haven't been voted on yet.
I thought there was 3 from Warren.
Okay, so I think I made a notation, I have the applications here. So I have, 19 Central Street, 65 East Road, 11 Washburn Avenue, and 374 Washington Street. Those are the 4 properties that the owner filed for abatements on that were not voted on. One of them's in West Warren and the other 3 are in Warren, and I thought I didn't know if you wanted to wait till Dave gives his input at a
We
meeting.
can vote on the one in West Warren.
So do you wanna vote on that one?
Yeah.
So the one I have for West Warren is for 19 Central Street. So he filed for an abatement because he says the upstairs apartment is unoccupied and that he expects it to be vacant for all of FY 2022.
Well, it looks like somebody's living there, so. I would deny that one. Howie, what do you think? Do you wanna vote on it, or do you wanna wait?
We'll wait till Dave gets, well, like Lisa said, on those 4 subject for review. By the same token, Lisa, didn't we get notified about a blockage in West Warren? Somebody in West Warren? And we don't know how that made out.
I don't know, all I know is I sent an email to the guy and I never got one in response. He basically had a sewer blockage, so there were roots growing into the sewer lateral about 5 up, near the edge of the road that goes up to his property. And he felt the town should be responsible for clearing it, and I told him that the town is only responsible for the main
Yeah.
and the road. And then he sent me an email saying his contractor he hired to rectify the blockage told him the town was responsible up to 5 feet from the main and the road, and I basically sent him an email saying that, well, your contractor isn't a town official or an attorney, and I told him that, if he feels that the town should pay for it, that he should attend the sewer commissioners meeting, and I never heard back from him after that. 'Cause I told him to, that if he has a copy of his bill for
Yeah.
the blockage, to bring it to the meeting and present it to the board. And after that, I never heard anything from
Yeah.
him.
I was sort of curious how that one made out, that's all. Most likely he got somebody to clean it out. Some of that paper they're making today, you don't wanna flush it down the toilet because it doesn't dissolve like toilet paper. Toilet paper is designed to dissolve. Some people use like hand towels or different kind of paper goods, and they don't break up, and that's
This
what
was
happens.
Tree roots. This was tree roots that caused
Right.
it.
Is there any correspondence, old business, new business, other business? And did you have anything more on number 12, the Washington Street connections?
I haven't heard anything about those. I usually periodically check with the building inspector, and to my knowledge, there hasn't been any occupancy permit issued.
And you don't have any report from Zach?
No. I did see Dave yesterday. He came in the building to bring the payroll to Tammy, and I know what they put on their payroll, that they responded to a call-in. I think it was their payroll for last week, but I didn't get a report from Zach before the meeting.
Yeah, because Dave and Zach both had extra. All right, does anybody have anything else? Any comments or concerns? Anybody, any comments or concerns? All right, the meeting's over. Lisa, shut your button off.